Derek Walcott's epic poem Omeros intertwines various narratives about the indigenous and colonized peoples of St. Lucia, drawing on characters loosely inspired by Homer's Iliad. First published in 1990 by Farrar, Straus and Giroux, it is divided into 7 books and 64 chapters. While the majority of the poem unfolds in the 20th century, several threads explore historical events. One such divergence occurs during the 1782 Battle of the Saints, and another follows Native American rights activist Caroline Wheldon in the 19th century. The poem begins with a scene featuring fishermen starting their day. Philoctete, one of the fishermen, discusses canoe making with tourists before seeking medicine for a festering leg wound caused by an anchor. He believes his injury is a reminder of his ancestors' enslavement. Philoctete visits Makilman, who runs the No Pain Cafe, where he buys the medicine. Later, Makilman follows a line of ants into the forest and finds a plant she believes will help Philoctete. The medicinal plant connects him to his ancestral heritage, and his wound begins to heal. Meanwhile, 2 other fishermen, Hector and Achille, are locked in a dispute over a bailing cup. Achille failed to return. Their rivalry extends to Helen, a local beauty who mirrors the Helen of Troy myth. Helen, often in search of work, has a turbulent history. She was fired from her waitress job for refusing to allow men to fondle her, and she was caught stealing a dress from the wife of Major Dennis Plunkett, a former soldier who moved to the island after a war injury. Plunkett, plagued by guilt over his past as a colonizer, becomes obsessed with Helen and the island's history. He uncovers the story of his ancestor, Midshipman Plunkett, who died during the British defense of the island against French and American invaders. Without children of his own, Plunkett adopts his deceased ancestor as his son. As the story progresses, Maud, Plunkett's wife of 25 years, succumbs to cancer, and he immerses himself further in the indigenous community. The relationship between Hector, Achille, and Helen escalates, culminating in a violent altercation in the marketplace. Hector drives off with Helen in his van, and Achille embarks on various money-making schemes in an effort to win her back. Achille dives illegally for conch shells to sell to tourists, and even goes so far as to tie a cinder block to his feet in a desperate attempt to find sunken treasure. His reckless actions lead to severe sun exposure and dehydration, causing him to hallucinate that he has returned to his ancestral African homeland. There, he hears his native language and true name, becoming immersed in the ancient culture before walking back to St. Lucia along the ocean floor. This experience deepens Achilles' connection to his ancestors and the traditional fishing practices of his people. Eventually, Helen returns to him. In the first-person narrative, Walcott explains that he is telling his story in the style of Homer, Omeros in Greek, but instead of chronicling the lives of heroes, he focuses on the lives of fishermen. Walcott draws inspiration from both Omeros and his former lover, Antigone. The figure of Omeros is sometimes symbolized as 7 seas, a blind fisherman who guides Walcott, helping him to see beyond the physical world. Walcott also revisits his childhood home and encounters the ghost of his father, Warwick. Together, they reflect on the past, wandering through the old neighborhood. Warwick urges Walcott to write about the island and its people. In another conversation, Warwick encourages Walcott to travel to Europe and explore the great literary capitals. St. Lucia in the 18th century was known as the Helen of the West Indies, due to its complex and tumultuous history. Strategically located near North America, the island was occupied by both the French and the English at various points in time. Omeros was named one of the best books of 1990 by the New York Times Book Review and is considered one of Walcott's finest poetic works. It won the 1991 W. H. Smith Literary Award and played a significant role in Walcott's receipt of the Nobel Prize in Literature. The New Yorker's Hilton also called the book Walcott's masterpiece, praising it as the perfect fusion of Walcott's classicism and nativism. The theme of connecting with ancestral roots runs deeply through the poem. Walcott writes Omeros as a means of engaging with both St. Lucia's past and present. He reconnects with his heritage through the spiritual visitations of his deceased father and by traveling to discover his literary roots. Achilles' hallucinatory journey to his ancestral home and Philoctete's physical wound, representative of the struggles of his people, further echo this theme. Even Plunkett, the colonizer, uncovers the story of his own ancestor, Midshipman Plunkett, linking him to the island's troubled history. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.